Now, another tool that you're probably going to want to use is actually the transition tool, or how to transition one video or image to another in your overall video. This can actually be found down here. So you see these little tiny blocks that appear between the different scenes of your video. If I click on any one of these scenes, right now it says default, it'll show me different kinds of animations that I can use to transition from one video to the next. So it's kind of like PowerPoint in that way. So it'll determine what kind of animation goes between the different slides, essentially. I'm going to click on this one because I like. Okay. And now when I roll over that transition, it tells me which one I have selected. If I wanted to preview it, again, since the preview button here will only let me preview that scene, I would have to preview the full video and all its transitions by using preview and export up here at the top. Okay, so last but not least, I'm now going to show you some of the editing features for the individual items in your video. So I'm going to start actually over here on the scene. Okay. So first things first, I'm noticing the text here is kind of dark, and that has to do with my layers. So on the right side, I have there's edit and there's layers. I have layers selected. This will show me what's on top and underneath the different items. So I can see that Learn About Bugs is in the middle and it's underneath the overlay. So I need to drag this to the top or use these buttons back front to change that. So I'm going to take the overlay, I'm going to move it below here. There we go. And move it below here. There we go. Perfect. Okay, there we go. And is there anything else? I think that actually looks pretty good. Okay, so now you can see my text more clearly, and that's because I moved the overlay, which is this dark part, more towards the bottom, so it's just on top of the video. And that's how you work with the layers. Now, anytime I select something like this text box, for example, I will have the ability to edit just that item. So you see if I click on the video, the edit box changes, and if I click on the text, the edit box changes to edit text, and so forth and so forth. So it'll adjust to whatever you have selected. So now, if I click on styles for the text box, I can change the font size. I can also change the alignment, so I'm going to align it to the left instead of the center. So there's left, middle, and right alignment. And then there's also colors. If I don't like the colors of the template, I can change that. Right now I have white, which is fine. I also change a box color. So right now you don't see the box because it's at 0% opacity. I'm going to increase that so you can see more of it. This just kind of creates a box that is partially see-through or fully opaque like this. I'm going to leave it partially see-through so you can see it like that. There we go. And I can also add a drop shadow. If I click on the drop shadow box, that will add a little bit of like a dark outline to my text, which makes it look a little bit more 3D, like it's popping off the page. Animation's a big one you might want to look at. Animation will let you determine how you want something to fade in or fade out of a scene. Right now I am fading into the scene. I don't have one selected though, so I'm going to select fade in from left. As a word. So the word will fade in from left. And this tells me how long the animation is going to go, and then I can determine how I want it to fade out. So maybe I want it to fade out from fade to up. I'll do, yeah, that's fine. So anyway, so you can just change the animations here, and same thing with the text box. I can change how I want the text box animation to work. And again, if I ever want to preview it, I'll just click on preview to see how my animation looks. And essentially, these editing features are very similar to pretty much any type of item you have selected. So I'll just click over this scene. I have a mask on this scene, so if I click on mask, now I get editing features for the mask, and then again I can change how I want to blur it. If I want to blur the picture, how I want to edit the mask. If I click on edit mask, I can move the little bug around inside of the mask to see how I want to center him. I can add a filter to him to make him look prettier. There we go. And so forth and so forth. So again, it's pretty intuitive, and I won't spend a lot of time covering the other tools, but essentially any item you click on the scene, you're going to see how to edit that item under the Edit tab over here, and that covers it. And that is how you edit all the different elements of your InVideo video.